Welcome, everyone, to the July 10th, 2025 meeting of the Burlington Conservation Commission. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. All right, so first, I'll state this meeting of the commission is being held in person at the location of the Town Meeting Hall, second floor. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended or terminated if technical problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on the agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. All right, so we'll do the roll call. Commissioner Bill Boyven.
Here.
Commissioner Ed LaTurco.
Here.
Commissioner Sarah Relinsky.
Here.
Commissioner Indra Deb.
Here.
Commissioner Kent Moffett.
Here.
Commissioner Rob Sheehan.
Here.
Associate Commissioner Sadie Backstrom. She seems to be absent. Okay, and Larry Cohen, the chair, is here for the record. The agenda, as far as I know, we have item number 6, which is a continued public hearing, a notice of intent for 7 A Street by American Maplewood Properties LLC for material storage and crushed stone parking area. DEP file number 122-715 has been continued to the August 14th, 2025 meeting of the Burlington Conservation Commission. All right, so we'll need a motion. Could I have a motion to continue that hearing to August 14, 2025? Second?
Second.
All in favor? 7-0-0.
I have a comment on that.
Yes.
This was a violation for using the place like improperly for storing material that shouldn't be there, right?
Initially, there was an enforcement
Right.
order? Yeah.
And it's been continued. Is this just a trick to keep storing things illegally forever, or?
There was initially an enforcement order, and then they cleared up the storage that was being done, at least in the inner riverfront, and piles and stuff. And then we said they would need to file a notice of intent for continued use that would be actually permittable.
Okay.
So that's what they did, and you told them basically that they could do some storage outside the 100-foot, but it would have to be on
That's right.
decks effectively. And they're having trouble figuring that out, is what I've been told repeatedly now.
But are they still storing stuff in the riverfront where they shouldn't?
The last time I went by, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, well, not in the inner riverfront anyway.
Okay. Because I was just wondering if they were continuing to
I
continue
hear
so
you.
that they didn't have to get it done.
I don't believe that is the case.
Okay.
But you know what?
Glad to
Now
hear
that
that.
you've raised it, I'll take a visit sometime in the next week.
Great.
You know, I went by there. Hang on, let me see if it's on my phone while you continue.
Okay.
Pictures.
Thank you.
Or maybe I sent it to us.
All right. Next is public comment period. Is there anybody in the room who would like to say anything about something not on the agenda? You can have a few minutes of your time. How about online? Is there anybody online who would like to have a few minutes of our time to talk about something not on the agenda already? All right, the record should show that there was no one present for a public comment period. We have the approval of minutes of May 22nd, 2025. Is there any need for discussion?
No, I sent in a few comments and they've been incorporated.
All right. Okay, then if nothing further, could I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 22nd, 2025?
So moved.
Second? Second. All those in favor? 7, 6,
Pretty sure I wasn't here, so I'm going to not vote.
6, 0. You're going to abstain?
Yeah.
601. All right. The minutes of June 12th are not ready yet, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so now we're on item 4, request for a certificate of compliance, 36 Cambridge Street, Salem, 5 Bank, DEP file number 122-715. 693. Is there somebody that, I guess, online for that one?
It looks like,
Yeah, sure.
yes.
Yeah, good evening. I hope you can hear me okay. Matt Bombasi with Bowler Engineering.
Okay, and who are you with?
With Bowler Engineering representing Salem 5, the property owner and applicant.
All right, okay. Very good. All right, so we had a site visit yesterday, and Eileen or Lucy, would you like to have any comments on this one?
Sure. Lucy's probably going to share something on the screen. We received documentation from them. We've received the as-built and plans showing where the plantings went and where the snow storage signs are. Everything, and a letter describing the compliance with the conditions. Everything appeared to be pretty much built as expected. We can ask, I'm sorry, it's Mark, right? I apologize.
No, Matt, no problem.
Sorry about that, to speak up as well. Our main concerns yesterday were about the plantings in the bioretention area. Well, first of all, they looked a little bit spare, but when I look back, it did just say that there was supposed to be 7 shrubs and a bunch of grasses. So some of them are not doing well, and they absolutely need to be replaced. And Matt, when somebody is making sure this is done, they also need to make sure that there are the correct number of both grasses and shrubs put in there. I didn't go back to count them. I just want that to be taken care of.
Okay, Matt, do you have any comment on that so far?
No, we did alert the bank of the shrubs to make sure that they maintain them. I trust they will. They've been good throughout the process. So whether they can resuscitate the ones that aren't super happy out there now or replace them, I'm confident they'll get that done.
Okay, and are you the one sharing the pictures now?
No, that's,
No, I guess Lucy's sharing the pictures, okay. All right, let's see if there's any other comments, I guess. Well, Ed, anything on further in this?
Oh, nothing to add, it's just plants.
Sarah?
Nothing to add.
Rob? Kent? Indra?
Nope.
Bill?
No, it's just the plants are, half of them are dead, it seems like, and it's a shame, all that planting, that it appears that it wasn't watered or something to keep it going. And yet I saw a 100-foot hose laying out there attached to a faucet, so it's clearly able to be watered.
that is a shame, isn't it? I'm just trying to look at I can't.
All right, and I'd like to comment, we talked about shrubs, Eileen and Lucy, but some of the trees didn't look like they survived.
Some of the trees didn't look good, but both Bill and Sarah, who know a fair bit about trees, pointed out that there is some green on them. Those might be resuscitatable, that's a word, because they've only been planted pretty recently, so maybe they just haven't really established very well yet.
I don't know, I went to a fairly substantial twig and it was dead.
Yeah, there's very little. There's one I think might be saved that looks dead, but the other ones I didn't think so. And if they're really recently planted and stressed out this much now, they're not going to do well through July and August. Probably.
Really?
Well, I think it's their call. If they want to try to resuscitate them
Right,
and
right.
bring them back to life, they can try to do that. I don't know who at the bank would be responsible for caring for them, or they can, I guess, replace them as the other alternative.
Right,
Water
well,
gators might help.
Right, yes, I agree. Matt, did you hear that? Putting gator bags on might help?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. We'll make that recommendation.
So I might suggest maybe that you keep some of the bond, give them this whole growing season to replace and just to see if the trees need to be replaced. Like, give them a couple of months and then have them come back. And if everything's fine and they show me or Lucy that they're fine, we could, if you're amenable, we could approve the release of the rest of the bond, or they could come back to you, whichever you prefer.
All right, so,
I'm just looking for how much the bond was. I didn't write that down. Go ahead.
okay, so anybody have a differing view on this?
No.
On how it should be done? All right. If there's nothing further, then I would entertain a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for 36 Cambridge Street for the Salem 5 Bank, DEP file number 122-693.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? That looks like 7-0-0, unanimous. All right, and how much is the bond?
Something crazy like 10,000.
Looking for that right now. Yeah, I think it was probably a big one. Here we go, $10,000.
Okay, and to cover the value of plants, which is what the performance bond would be used for, it usually never happens, but it could be, for failed landscaping, what would you recommend?
Well, I'd say you could give back 8,000.
8,000?
What do you think? I mean, if they have to replace the trees, that's a few hundred right there, each, I mean.
Well, the tree could be, that tall, could be up to $550, and somebody to install it, it could be another $250, so 300, 400 maybe. Don't forget that those trees are, 12 feet tall?
Were they?
Well, it's
10?
hard to tell because they were
Eight to 10.
elevated above the parking lot.
It's hard to tell.
They were good 8 to 10, yeah.
Maybe they look small when they're dead.
Don't we all?
Okay, so would anybody in the commission have a recommendation, given this discussion, how much of the bond? It seems like there's the thought on the table to give some part of the bond back and rehold some. Does anybody have an opinion on the right?
How much do we have?
10,000.
10,000.
Okay, anybody on the left? Comment?
My number that came to my head was we keep a quarter of it, you know? We return 7,500 and keep 2,500.
I agree with that.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, could I have a motion to return $7,500 out of a $10,000 bond to the Salem 5 Bank, 36 Cambridge Street, DEP file number 122-693?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Guess that's 7-0-0. All right, Matt, I think you're all set, is that correct?
Can we just clarify, is it okay if they come back just to staff to approve those at the end of the growing season? And if we have concerns, we could bring, at that point, if they're still looking pretty bad, we could bring it back.
Does anybody want anything different? Do you need a motion for that?
I don't think so, just, I mean, it'll be reflected in the minutes, I just want clarity.
Clarity, of course. All right,
I think you might want to give them a little more time. If they're going to try and rehab those trees, you know, the saying with trees is first
Yeah.
it sleeps, then it creeps, then it leaps. Like, it needs it doesn't do much the first year. The next year is when you might actually see some growth. It's going to be a little hard to know whether they're going to pull through at just the end of the summer.
Okay.
That would be my hunch, so maybe more time.
I agree, definitely until spring. See what happens in the spring with them.
See if they start sprouting leaves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Matt, are you catching this?
Yeah, you want the bank to fall up in the spring after a growing season, basically.
Yeah, into the next growing season.
does the bank, Matt, does the bank understand their responsibilities for watering and taking care of these trees?
Yeah, they certainly understand the trees are part of the conditions, and those trees need to be in place in perpetuity, and whether it takes watering, whatever maintenance is required, and replacing in the future if needed.
All right. So I think, Eileen, unless you have anything further, we're all set with this one?
All set.
Matt, I think we're all set. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate all the commission's help.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Okay. All right, so next, we have a public hearing. Let's see. Does anybody have the notice?
Nope.
Eileen, oh, here it is, I have it. Okay. Notice is given that the commission will hold a public hearing, during which time we'll take all information related to a stormwater erosion and sedimentation control permit application filed by Langone Development Group for the demolition of a dwelling and the construction of a new dwelling. It's located at 18 Druid Hill Ave in Burlington. The application is being heard pursuant to Burlington Bylaws, Article 14, which is Section 6. The commission would be reviewing all information relative to the application and may issue a stormwater permit for these proposed activities. The application link is on the Conservation Commission webpage. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Langone. I am from Langone Development Group. I am the contractor that will be constructing the new home at 18 Druid Hill. So we have submitted a plan for a new construction dwelling. The old dwelling is in pretty rough shape, so we were looking to raise that and then construct a new one. The existing impervious for the existing was 2,217 square feet, and the proposed was 4,922 square feet, and that's an increase of 2,700 square feet. We have all the gutters being infiltrated on site with stormwater retention. There's two separate areas for stormwater retention, and then all water for the driveway will also be collected in a driveway infiltration trench. And I believe that's it.
All right. Thank you for the summary.
Thank you.
All right, so Eileen, we had a site visit out there, and Lucy was with us as well. Do folks have comments for us?
Well, Lucy wasn't there, but she...
Oh, that's right. You went-
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just comment about the trees, but Lucy can speak to just whether there's any concerns at all about the stormwater calcs, because she's the woman these days for that. When we were out there, as Jonathan said, it's a pretty old house. It's clearly a tear down. It's also a fairly small site, so this substantial increase in impervious brought it over the 10%, which is what brought it in front of you. There are some 6 or 7 very, very large trees on the site. We're talking about 24 to 36-inch oaks and maples. And some of them, 1 or 2, are clearly like right in the pathway of the house, so they really have to come down. There isn't any escaping that. I'm fairly sure, and Jonathan will confirm or deny this in a minute, the 2 at the back, that even though they were marked with X's, I think they're actually slated to be saved, right? There's 2 oaks, the 26-inch and the 20-inch. Lucy's
so-
just pointing at them.
Correct. So the 20-inch on the back right, that will definitely be getting saved. We will not, I wasn't looking to touch that. And then there is a 26-inch oak just to the right of the recharge area number 2. I was actually looking to take down the 26-inch oak near the recharge area, just because of the proximity of the house, and it is a rather large tree. I mean, I'm open to replacing that with like 2 or 3 smaller trees, just to put something back. But that would be the only one that I would be looking to take within the 15-foot rear setback.
Okay. Eileen, anything?
Well, just that we were wondering whether, this is a stormwater permit, so really you don't have that much to say about trees, but these are absolutely massive oaks and maples. They serve a lot of functions. So I think you might want to have a discussion about whether anything can be moved to save some of them. Do you have anything to add about the stormwater design itself? It's
Had
pretty
nothing,
solid.
there was nothing notable. I love looking at the percentages. So it is an 18% increase in impervious over the existing, which is sizable, but they do have the calcs that show that they are either maintaining or reducing the flow by rate and volume. So they're good on that
What did you say the increase in impervious was?
one. 18% of the lot.
18% of the lot, okay. I thought you meant old compared to new, and I'm thinking, that's 100%.
I didn't
Okay,
misspeak.
18% of the lot, all right, thank you.
Okay. Let's, why don't we start with, Bill, can we start with you this
Sure.
time?
Which of these trees actually fall within the 15-foot rear setback? Have we figured that out?
Eyeballing it, it looks like the 26 and the 20.
The ones that are already scheduled to be
Ones that are not
saved.
having an X through them on the plan.
Are-
They all had a spray painted blue X, I noticed.
That was.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
just to clarify, I mean, if you want me to pass this around, I can. I have a plan here that I drew on a 15-foot setback line, so you can clearly see where it was.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
that'd be great.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. All right,
Because if those ones near the recharge area on the left
go to her
Somewhere
first.
in- well,
are there, we could suggest moving the recharge
Well,
area.
that's the 15-foot? I mean, this is 31 feet right here. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah, that was my only concern on this. I have no problems with the house as a tear down. It looks like the driveway is pitching in the correct direction to a stone trench. They're capturing the rooftop. I'd just like to see as many of those, mature adult hardwood trees be saved as possible. I noticed the ones out front really definitely had like some issues. They had
Correct.
cracked down the middle type thing, and they should probably be removed so close to the house. But the ones in the back, I'd like to save whatever we can.
So as it stands now, you're proposing to preserve 2 trees, the 20 and the 26-inch one.
We can, I mean, the 20-inch on the right, we would definitely looking to save, but the 26, I mean, it's approximately, it's like 16 feet from the house.
It is.
17 or 18 feet. And it just, that's caliber tree that close to a brand-new house. I just typically would like to remove it just because how close it is. I mean, it is a big tree, and especially oaks. Oaks are very heavy. So if something was to happen and it was to fall, it would do significant damage.
Trying to remember, what that 26-inch, is that, was it structurally unsound in any way? Anybody remember?
I did not think so.
Or not that anybody noticed.
Part of it's fallen in our yard before.
2 times.
The one in the middle?
Is it this one?
The
The
one in the
on
room,
that far,
the far right.
the far right up.
If you go back to the plan, would that be right? I think she means that.
There you go.
Yeah,
That one there that she's got the red dot
That's really
on?
the only,
I
that one,
think it's
that
the
one, the only
one,
ones within it.
No,
It's already
the
marked
one
and saved.
further in.
Oh, that's got,
When you look at it, you can see
That one?
where,
that,
yeah,
he's proposing to take that one down.
Correct.
okay.
We have other tree problems we want to mention when our time comes.
Yeah, we'll certainly give you time. We're getting there, a few minutes. All right, let's start with Ed. Do you have any further questions on this?
What trees that are remaining, without looking at the actual trunk of the tree, is there anything that's really blooming at the top that's going to affect the house in any way?
Are we talking just the one in the back and then the one on the far right?
Right, I'm just eliminating them for good reason.
To be honest, I didn't do significant research on that exact tree, the 26-inch. I mean, if it really needs to stay, we can preserve it if it's that important.
You're talking the 26 that has the X through it?
The 20, no, the 26 in the back, right next to.
That is in the rear setback.
Nobody's
Gotcha.
disputing the ones that have
Yeah,
X's.
nothing back there.
Well,
Why not?
well, the ones that are right where the recharge chambers, you could move the chambers.
Well, Ed, are you, should we move on?
50-50.
Sarah?
He answered what I was concerned
I wondered how you would feel about moving the chambers. If the goal is to keep that, let's assume that the trees we have jurisdiction over, the 26-inch oak and the 20-inch oak, not the other ones that you have access through on the plans. If we wanted to save those two as much as possible, you'd want to disturb their roots as little as possible. Therefore, you'd probably not want the left-hand chamber to be where it is located, but maybe moved further over to the left, or perhaps further toward the center of the property, just getting it away from the 26-inch oak.
With the soil that was on the property, which it's just a straight sand, there was no water table when we dug, so, I mean, they can essentially be put anywhere in the
Anywhere?
lot as long as they conform with the zoning regulations. So, I
If you
mean,
wanna
they
maximize-
can definitely be moved.
Okay, if you want to make that, if you wanted to keep the 26-inch oak and you wanted to be as happy as possible, you would want to not be digging near its roots, so moving the chamber
Correct.
elsewhere would be awesome.
Okay.
That's all I've got to say.
All right, Rob, anything?
Is there any fill or, I mean, like leveling happening on the site?
The existing grades and proposed grades are almost identical to what was existing. There's almost no change in grades, as you can see on the plan. The dotted lines are
One for
existing, and the solid black is proposed.
This line.
Yeah, like just, okay. And then the, like the corner near the stone wall, that's pretty much like keeping the same sort of.
Correct,
down-
yeah.
down slope. And where's 0 Druid Hill Lane in relation to this map? There's like a lot next to it?
Oh, so when we had purchased it, there was 2 lots combined, it was 2 lots owned by the same owner. So
Oh,
they're both,
okay.
it's just one property.
Okay,
Zero was,
so this is this.
so this is combined.
That other side, okay.
Okay, we have Indra, anything more?
Yeah, so you're taking out 6 trees.
Yes, yes.
Minimum.
Correct.
And how much you're putting in? How much, how many? I don't see anything new.
I don't think he has proposed anything
No.
yet. He
Yeah,
said he
we
might,
haven't proposed any yet. Correct.
but we might be able to push him into something.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, I'm not against putting trees back by any
Right,
means.
right, I understood, right. So we'll touch that in a minute, how's that?
Yeah.
Kent?
No, that's my question too, like, what, I mean, I understand like some of the ones are, you know, like where the house is gonna go, so like.
Correct.
Yeah.
As Bill said, some are in rough shape, but I guess that's one question, like, would be what would be the rebuttal to replace
Okay.
a lot of those? That's what-
Okay, I have 2 questions. Are you, on the trees you're removing, are you planning to grind the stumps down?
Completely removed, typically.
Completely removed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess for the 30-inch maple, they wouldn't want the stump in the family room probably.
No, we typically remove them just so we don't have issues down the road with any settling or.
Right, got it,
Just-
right. Good, very good point, I guess. And the other question I have is for the commission. We might be able to convince Jonathan to plant some additional trees, probably towards the back property line, right?
Yes, we can
I
definitely.
mean, so the question is, does anybody have any thoughts on either what should be planted, what typical height would you be looking for, and how many? Does anybody want to talk about that? Okay, on the right side, first we'll go to Ed or Sarah.
Yeah, it'll be a question of what kind of tree that you want to replace. The backside of that property, that one tree there is probably where I might put a tree, but the question is what?
All right, yeah, well, that was my question.
I'd say, oh, sorry, were you finished?
Yeah, I can't see another one that I'm really concerned about.
Okay,
That's
Sarah.
That's actually filling in a slot.
Okay, so we're talking about adding trees, and I'm just looking for thoughts to talk to Joe about.
Sure, I would say,
Jonathan, right? It's Jonathan?
Yes,
Jonathan,
correct.
sorry, okay.
so 6, maybe 7, we seem to be on the fence about the 7. 6 big trees removed, I'd say some nice big replacements would be great, like, 3 or 4 inch white oak,
Can you, isn't it almost, don't trees that size,
2.5 then.
yeah, I was gonna say they have less survival rate.
All right, then whatever the optimal survival rate is,
So usually,
Typically
it's
2-inch, yeah.
like 2 to 2.5 is,
Yeah.
decent size, not like a stick that's.
Yeah, typically if we were to replace, it's like between a 10 and 12 foot in
Something like
height.
that, yeah.
Tree.
that would be perfect. I think that's optimum for planting.
And then I will say it definitely varies between timing as well with some of the nurseries with actually having the trees in stock as well. So to have a specific tree that we want to do, I would try to not, or if we cannot have like a specific, that would be preferred just because of
Sure.
availability. But
Yeah.
I would prefer to do a hardwood, whether it would be a maple or an oak.
Yeah.
So preferably maple.
As long as it's a native.
Yes, a native
Not a
maple.
hybrid, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Rob, anything further than what has been said?
No, I think, yeah.
Okay, how about Bill? Anything further?
You planning to do any other landscaping other than trees around the house?
There'll definitely be shrubs in the front.
Again, I
Throughout
would
the whole
I would
front.
encourage as much as possible for shrubs to do some natural native plants,
Okay.
just because that's better for the native wildlife and bugs and stuff like that. Flowers and stuff, whatever is ornamental is fine.
Indra? No? Kent, anything further?
Just on the 20 oak, you have another 26 oak. Is that, it seems like that one, all the other trees are basically like within, like you have two next to the recharge and then other ones are close to the house or where the house is gonna go, like the replacement house. There's this tree here. It's
I
like
think he means the 26 inch.
26 inch, right? Is there a reason why that one? Because that's, you basically said that that one seems to be within the same proximity as the other 26 oak that you want to take out that isn't proposed. So I'm just curious, like why?
That's beyond the 15-foot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think that's the reason. We can require things within the last
Oh, yeah,
15 feet.
correct.
And, we're not pushing the envelope further because we don't have that authority.
And to be fair, the neighbors did also say that one's been dropping
Okay,
branches,
yeah,
so
okay.
it might, they're probably concerned about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to, I know we have at least one set of neighbors here who've been waiting patiently. The way it works is you just come up and sit somewhere where there's a microphone right here, and you just introduce yourselves, and you start talking.
All right.
Okay, if you have questions, you can ask the questions. Okay, so,
Would you both like to come up?
I guess, thanks.
I can move, right?
Yeah, you can, yeah. Just
All right.
move that microphone over to you if you.
all right, nice to see you. Why don't you,
I'm Ruth and Charles Elliott, and we're abutters on 20 Algonquin Drive, which is on the right side of the property.
Down the hill.
sort of down the hill?
Yeah. What it does is their property goes flat, and then it slopes before it gets to our property.
Yes.
And everything comes down the slope.
What do you mean by everything?
Trash, when the previous owner's pool broke, that all came down in our yard. When the previous owner was mowing the lawn with his ride-on lawnmower, he and the lawnmower came down in our yard.
Over into our yard. 'Cause
Well, that was
severe slope.
a very neighborly thing to do.
There's also there, where you show the stone and mortar wall.
Yes.
The stones are falling out of that, and it only goes about halfway, and the rest is
Cinder.
crumbling cinder blocks. And in the cinder block area where it's crumbling, there's 6 maple trees growing up that are leaning over into our property. And we're afraid that when all the heavy equipment is in there digging up trees near it,
And the foundation and all that.
that they're going to tip over the
Because
trees.
they don't have, if you were to come look from our backyard, you'd see that the roots of those 6 small, they're like right on a row, right on the edge of the property.
Are they're on your property?
No, they're on where the previous owner built the cinder block wall.
Right.
They're almost growing into the cinder blocks.
Really?
I don't think the roots are very good, so, and I've had limbs come down, we've had to pay to be removed and stuff, but I'm just concerned when they start moving the earth, that the cinder block wall is gonna crumble more, or the roots of these 6 that are in a row there are gonna get weaker. It's just, it costs so much every time we have to pay for somebody to come and clean up a tree that falls, or even, one limb was $800 one time to have
Really?
removed. It's just, so we just are very concerned about that border.
It's 6 maples.
6 little, they're not really little, they're, go way up above our house, but.
Well, let's
Yeah.
put this issue to Jonathan. Apparently, they're talking about the wall potentially crumbling more and trees not having a sufficient root base to actually stay in place. How do you think we should resolve this? Because we don't want to leave it if it's going to cause problems.
Correct. So I'm familiar with the trees. I wasn't aware that they were on our property, but I'm not against, if you're for them getting removed, I'm not against it if it's okay with the commission.
Yeah.
The limit of work on that side is gonna be very minimal. We will, I'm not looking to do anything. For the entire build-out, we're probably gonna be 15 to 20 feet away at all times, just because I am aware of the sloping down.
Yeah.
And that is an area where I could see if we did have a rainstorm, where things would end up down there. So that's why I would like to keep that side of the property to as minimal as possible.
Could we investigate the integrity of the wall? Because if if the wall is in disrepair, could you take a look at it?
Definitely.
And then see what you think? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're going to put up a house that's worth a fair amount of money, and you don't,
I could definitely have a masonry contractor take a look.
yeah, and I know you don't leave properties with crumbling walls. I've seen your work before.
Yeah, we could definitely have a masonry contractor take a look at it, and if there were certain areas that need to be repointed or remortared, that's not a problem, we could have that.
Now,
as well.
on our side, we put up some lattice wood in front of it, just
Just to
because it
hide
was
the-
so ugly.
the ugly-
If you need us to move that and when somebody
could
comes,
take the
or if you're
lattice,
going to
yeah.
do it from your property, I
Yeah,
don't
that's not a
know.
problem. I mean, I can give you my cell phone and we can coordinate a time to just meet on site as well, and we can go over anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if the trees could be removed,
We'd love it if they could, because we're just so terrified of it.
Coming
Any of
into
them.
our
The
house.
bigger they get, every year, and then, it crushes a roof or whatever, it just really
Yeah.
worries us, yeah.
So Jonathan, does your property go beyond that wall line?
No.
No.
I think it ends, the previous owner built the wall
Yeah.
back.
Right on,
in the-
apparently right on the line.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the
In
1960s.
the back, the top right corner, you can see that like the diagonal line plan. And it extends to the left and it extends down towards the bottom of the screen.
So
Right.
where are the trees that they're talking about, these volunteer maples?
See where it says 29 inches going across on the right side?
Yeah, feet?
All right, it's pretty much at the end of the arrow from the 29.
But I believe they're just like mixed in.
Right.
With
Well, yeah,
Right on the line.
the neighbor's property, which they're.
All right.
a little bit more down towards the bottom of the drawing.
I was aware that they're on their property just all along this.
No, they're right,
They're very close, I will say.
Yeah, we always were, we were thinking, should we ask permission of the poor previous owner that, while he was still alive, we were like, we were thinking of, we couldn't afford to take him down, but we were, we're gonna have branches trimmed, whatever. We couldn't build up the courage to ask him, can we take some of that down? Because one time he said that he liked, having the leaves,
privacy.
give a little privacy, So we just, okay, that's fine. But the more we see them get bigger and bigger, plus every year it just creates so much leaves in that backyard that we have to remove.
Well, that's
our
a whole
own thing.
separate thing.
But the point is just, the fear is with the roots not being great, you could come look from and feel free anytime, just let us know. We'll take the dog in so you could, look, and you can see how awful the roots look, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Was that work done before you? Like, was that the prior owner did that before you?
It was all.
No, what it was my parents built the house
Oh.
in the 1950s, and then we moved in when they passed away, so the previous owner, their parents also had the house built in the 50s. So the wall was probably built in the 60s.
Yeah.
And
Okay, does anyone, before I talk anymore, does anyone in the commission want to say anything further? Or Eileen, do you want to say anything further on this?
No.
If these 6 or 7 trees you're talking about are not structurally sound, the roots are exposed, and I think they're borderline as to whose property they're on, and they're also going to affect the integrity of the wall that you want to maintain to support the property that you're developing, I think it's great that you guys can communicate with each other. I appreciate that you're willing to share communication with the neighbors and keep everybody happy. I think that's important. Because you want to be able to get on a good foot with new neighbors when they move in and not
Yes.
have to immediately say, what are you going to do about the trees?
Right.
So that would be great.
Well, I wanted to bring up something else, Jonathan. If you remove those trees, and I can't picture it now, so I'm not sure, and they are providing some degree of privacy, and you remove the trees, and now there's less of a privacy screen for the neighbor next door, which they seem to say was kind of important. Could you talk with them and come back with some proposal for some kind of screening along the side there for them?
Yeah, that's not a problem. So I was gonna actually ask if we're gonna be proposing new trees to be put in for all the ones that we've removed. I was actually gonna ask if we can just put them in a line just on the right side of the property, just to have that area. We can just do one straight line.
That's what I was suggesting.
I like maples.
How does everyone feel about
Yeah, I
that?
think that's perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
Everyone's nodding their head with your suggestion.
These three,
Okay.
I know, I mean, we had just discussed about not taking the 20-inch tree down. But I just want to be clear, because I have to keep it because it's within the 15-foot rear setback. Is that a tree of your concern as well?
The wall seems to, that's right at the corner of the wall.
It's right in the corner.
It's the one, it's about like 5 feet off of the corner.
Yeah.
I haven't-
It's in the back corner.
Because all the
Yeah,
other ones are small.
right, the other ones are smaller.
Yeah.
But the
that one's-
biggest one is, that one we would propose to leave.
I haven't noticed a lot of problems with that one.
I don't know which one,
He's talking about the one
Yeah, well,
behind the
yeah.
I can
clubhouse.
show you.
yeah,
Oh, in the upper right.
I don't, yeah,
This one right here,
yeah, I don't know if it's that
this is
one.
your property down here.
Right, that's
Correct.
So
correct.
this would be the big, there is a,
Yeah.
so
I mean, it must have been, the giant limb that came over and we had to pay the 800 must have been the one with the X that's next to it, I'm thinking. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that. It could have been the one that you just pointed to.
If you do come out and look,
Yeah.
you can see where it's all broke, where the limb broke off.
Yeah, so more of it could break off if it's in that,
So here's the thing, if you're trying to achieve not just tree plantings, but you're trying to achieve some degree of privacy at a certain height, is it better for you to come back with, Eileen, something like dogwood or Coosa dogwood or,
Everybody.
well, arborvitae isn't, like magnolia or something like that, that's
They're
kind,
all smaller trees.
what?
They're all smaller trees.
That's
which
my-
is-
well,
which is
that-
fine,
well,
but
well, that's
that's what
my-
you're proposing.
That's what I'm asking for people to comment on.
fine.
Because that would give you a private, because if you get some other trees, after a few years, so goes the privacy screen, because the stuff's up above.
Plus, they wouldn't get big enough to then, in the future, threaten the
To
other
be
property
such a
as well.
concern.
True.
Yeah, that's a.
How does that
Very
sound?
good compromise.
Trees, but smaller trees.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Jonathan, how would you feel about that, though?
Yeah, I mean,
He meant rather than
I don't,
maples,
I don't see an issue with that either.
dogwoods or something,
Right.
which are very nice.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the dogwoods,
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
We just don't want 6 maple trees falling in our yard.
Because they're all like bending towards us and the roots look so shaky that we're just really afraid
Yeah.
of crashing into the
Sure,
roof. So,
And even if you did maintain the one tree that's the 20 oak, I mean, it's like, you're gonna keep it, you're still gonna maintain it, like, trim it back, and if it's causing issues as well, you're gonna take a look at
He'll
whatever.
take a look.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be hiring an arborist to.
Yeah, exactly.
So he'll definitely assess the
Yeah.
tree as well.
So the gentleman had mentioned like a limb falling down, if you're
Yeah.
basically gonna keep that one tree, that's gonna be part of the process to make sure it's healthy and trimmed back, so it's not causing
Do
issues.
do you use a specific arborist?
Typically, yes, they use the same one.
Who's that?
The company is Arbor East.
Arbor East,
He's
okay.
out of Chelmsford.
Okay, got it.
He's been in business a long time.
I don't have a preference. I was just wondering who you
Yeah.
used. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're talking about replacement trees going along the right side as you face the house. And are we talking, we're taking down so many trees, along that line, are we talking 6?
That was the exact number I had in my head.
6 for 6.
Okay, anybody have any different?
Planting 6?
Plantings.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
I think that sounds great.
Yep.
That sounds great
Okay.
to the
So-
commission.
Did that mean that the maples then will come down?
The smaller maples?
Yeah.
small ones on the right.
I don't believe any of the maples are in the jurisdiction with the Conservation Commission.
Right.
That's
that would be
really
enough.
between you two.
That would be at,
Oh.
for our
Okay,
discretion.
Okay.
And,
I see what you
I
mean.
mean, They're also, I know the trees are small enough, so that
Yeah.
anything that you want down that's right on that property line, we can
Okay.
take down.
That would be
Great. That would be
fantastic.
super.
Okay, yes, Eileen?
No, I just wanted to know, two things. One, if you're all amenable, we could still give them a permit tonight, but just say he's going to put 6 trees along the right-hand side, and that's fine. But the second one is, are you agreeing to the left-hand one within the 15 feet coming out, or do you want him to save that? Because it's within the 15 feet.
Oh, the one on the left.
Yeah.
26 one?
What do you mean? I thought those two were being saved.
Well, I thought so too, but I'm just realizing, I want us all to be on the same
You
page.
had mentioned that that was one of the ones you wanted.
I would prefer it to go if we can, just because the close proximity of the house. I mean, if it wasn't as close as it is, like 17 feet, I would say rather close to it.
How would the commission feel? The proponent would like to have that removed. It is fairly, how close is it to the house? It's
17 feet.
what, 20 feet? Something like that?
17, between 17 and 20, but
So how about if we ask him to plant 7 trees along the 100-foot right sideline?
I would rather see a bigger tree going in than dogwoods to replace such a huge tree.
Yeah. I mean,
I
that
mean,
tree's 100
dogwoods are, they're
130
nice,
years
I
old.
don't have anything
Yeah.
against them, but they're just,
At least one bigger one maybe towards the back.
yeah, bigger one toward the back to replace what's gone.
okay.
That would be my preference.
Is everyone okay with what Sarah said? All right. This is a tree discussion, clearly. All right, so you're going to put one large tree to replace the one that you now can take down, that 26-inch tree, and 6 along the right-hand side. Does that sound, okay, and you will go out and meet with these people, and
Yes.
if the wall needs to be fixed, you'll fix it.
No, for some reason it
If there's trees growing up through the middle of the wall, you'll obviously take that down.
Yeah,
They're
we'll
in,
take
no,
care
no,
of
no, I don't have
Okay.
the main copy, I've got my
Right.
copy. on my desk.
All right, all right.
Why
So
don't we open the one I have then?
are we,
Yes, please.
how does the commission feel about passing the permit tonight? It sounds pretty straightforward.
Oh, sorry, wait a second, I have it.
Okay. Is there anyone else, this is an open hearing, is there anyone else who would like to talk about this particular project at 18 Druid Hill Ave? No.
Don't see any hands.
All right, so we're going to try and get this permit finished for you tonight.
Where'd I put it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, here.
I guess you're going to project something?
Yeah, we're just making, because we had already put something in about trees, and we were just wondering about which version to share.
For some reason, I got a version that says note tree removals, but not the other parts. Must have copied it for me.
Okay, well, let me just hit share on this one, and we can do it together. Become presenter. Oh, I'm not a presenter anymore.
You can become it.
I am now the presenter again. Okay.
All right.
Okay, let me make this all bigger. Well, actually, Lucy will make it
You
bigger.
definitely need it bigger.
Whoa. Okay,
Well,
that's
Got a little
That's
close.
good.
that was a little.
Overkill.
Whoa, okay.
All right.
Okay, well, we'll go speedily through some of this because a lot of it's standard. So the findings are that this was, stormwater bylaw application was filed for the construction of a new single-family home at 18 Druid Hill Ave. The project involved the raising of the existing dwelling and the construction of a new home deck, patio, driveway, and walkways with a proposed increase of 2,700 impervious cover. It qualified for its standard stormwater permit. The project also includes removal of 6 mature trees between 24 and 36 dBH and protection of 2 other oaks. So we're going to change that because you're now allowing him to take down one of those 2, right?
Yeah, we're allowing him to take down the 26-inch oak.
Okay, so we're 120-inch oak. I'd like, although that one needs a little bit less protection because it's in the corner.
It'll be 7 mature trees then.
Okay. Well, I mightn't get all the wording in here now, so, and protection, okay, we'll fix that better in the morning, or when we get it out. Stormwater management, the project would result in an increase in impervious area, as we said. The rooftop, the Stormwater from the rooftop will be directed into 2 fields of Cultec chambers with a total capacity of 409 cubic feet, and the driveway is proposed to pitch to a 2 by 2 foot stone trench running along the entire driveway. The administrative conditions are all pretty standard. It's all saying that Jonathan shall comply with the reference plans and documents that he submitted to us and that we're now approving tonight. Any changes to the above reference plans should be submitted to the Conservation Department. We can do inspections of the site as construction goes along. Whoever's working on this property should have a copy of the permit. Prior to commencing work, you should install erosion controls and contact the Conservation Department to review the permit with you. So, okay, we'll just move on. Pollution ones are just keep the property clear, no discharge of fuel on site, cleaning of equipment shall be done or rinsing of concrete transports shall be done into the foundation or into a concrete washout container, so not just onto the side of the property. Prior to beginning construction on site, sediment barriers shall be installed and inspected by Conservation Department staff, and it sounds like it's particularly important for the ones that are above their property, which is 3 Algonquin. So barriers except as noted shall include compost tubes, wattles, or staked hay bales with silt fence. So you might need something additional on that side, which you can work out with us. Then the Commission has the right to require additional erosion control if necessary. Keep the streets clean. Materials shall be stockpiled at a location to reduce the likelihood that material will run into the street. If you end up dewatering, just give us a dewatering plan or talk to us about what the plan is. Grading, there's almost no grading, but if any grading that happens shall be completed in such a way as to not direct additional runoff onto the property of others. Put a silt sack into the closest catch basin. Then we came to a condition about trees where we're saying, and again, we're going to tweak this, but we were just starting off with something. The permit is allowing for the removal of 7 mature trees between 24 and 36 dBH on site. 1 oak will be protected.
Yeah, the 26-inch one.
I'm just going to add a note saying including one within the 15-foot setback.
Right.
Is that a waiver to vote on, taking a tree down to 15 foot setback?
And then the one that's being left, the 20-inch oak shall be protected with installing a snow fence or other visible demarcation at the drip line of the tree. No parking or storage of materials shall occur within the drip line. Fencing and erosion controls in general across the site shall remain in place until the site is stable and the Conservation Administrator has approved removal. We're suggesting a performance guarantee of $2,500.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, does anyone on the commission have any changes to the conditions? Here or on over here? All right, so we have a series of votes to take. Before we take a vote, I'd just like to say one thing, and that is we're voting the permit now on the premise that any issue...
Sorry,
What?
I just realized we didn't mention the trees to be installed.
Okay.
We'll start writing something while you're talking. Sorry about that.
Okay. We're voting this on the premise that right now there's concerns with the neighbor, and you have agreed to talk with them. The premise is on the table that you will come to an agreement with them on what needs to be done. Okay, and we've worked with you many times before with permits, so we have no reason to believe that's not going to happen. So I just wanted to throw out there that premise is out there, that's the reason.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
We just did exchange some stuff.
Sure.
So
Excellent.
we'll be in touch.
All right.
Next week.
Yeah. And I do know you construct very nice walls.
That's important for this project.
So you got the stuff about the planting
Well, I just put in 6 smaller native trees, small.
Along the-
Let's just say small. Small native trees shall be planted close to the right property line.
right?
and one larger 10 to 12-foot tall native tree shall be planted at the rear of the property. I know you like maples, so it's fine if it's a maple, totally fine. I was just trying to leave it a bit open to you, as long as they're natives and it's a full-grown shade tree. I don't think the commission will
Right.
mind what you put in.
Okay, all right. You're okay with all this? Okay, so we're taking down a tree, I think, at least partially, or in the 15-foot setback, zoning setback. So I think Bill reminded me, we need a waiver to do that. So could I have a motion to grant a waiver to this proponent for taking down the 26-inch oak tree that is within the 15-foot rear setback according to our regulations, that is restricted because it is very close to the house, and the proponent has offered to replace a maple or oak or some suitable tree at the rear of the property.
So moved.
Okay. Second? All in favor? 700. So you're all set on that. Could I have a motion to close the hearing on 18 Druid Hill Ave for a stormwater permit for Burlington bylaw, Article 14, Section 6? Is there a motion to close that hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Again, 700. Could I have a motion to issue the stormwater permit to Langone Development Group for the proposed project at 18 Druid Hill Road under Burlington bylaw, Article 14, Section 6?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, again, all those in favor? 700. The amount of the bond that has been proposed?
2,500?
Okay, that's nominal, right? Yeah, could I have a motion to request the posting of performance surety under Burlington bylaw, Article 14, Section 6, for the property, for the project proposed at 18 Druid Hill Ave in Burlington?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Again, 700. All those votes means you're all set.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time, everyone.
All right, take care.
Thank you,
Good to see you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
No problem, folks.
Can you schedule something for us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds good.
thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's better now.
All right.
Okay, everybody could see that I was adding in stuff there about
I'd
the
love to see
waiver.
the developer getting off on the right foot with the neighbors.
Of course.
He's pretty good about,
Yes.
a lot of people in town are pretty good about
Yeah.
working with their neighbors because
Right.
it behooves them to.
Okay, now we have violation and enforcement discussions. We have, the first one is 2 Vandergraaf Drive. We have some vegetation removal. I think we have some people here. Good evening.
Hi, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for having us. Carl Kenny from RJ Kelly, and we have Doug Malone from RJ Kelly, and the manager Serena from RJ Kelly. Thank you guys for having us.
Good to see all three of you. Okay, so I guess where we should, would you like to say anything before we figure this out for you?
No, I think the premise of it, I'll let Doug speak after myself, but, you know, we are abutters to the wetlands and have been in the town of Burlington for years. And we're just doing some general landscape and saw a lot of debris in the wetlands, and, you know, our landscaper might have pulled a thing or two out that he shouldn't have. And so basically, we wanted to meet with you guys and communicate and understand what the best path forward was for us to make sure that that wetlands is being maintained correctly. I think that's going to be by our neighbor, the abutter, the Hyatt, but we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we're supposed to do on our front to make sure that everything is going correctly.
All right. So I know you folks, I think this has already been discussed with you folks privately, but just for the record, we should say that the reason this wetland exists on South Bedford Street in front of 2 Vandergraaf is that a long time ago, it was recognized that a wetland had formed, and part of the reason for that is that a lot of water was breaking out on the slope, and an easy way to fix it was to maintain it as a wetland, and then if you have plants in it, of course, it sucks up even more water and makes it so you don't have problems with water rolling into the street and the sidewalk and icing and all that stuff. Okay, so that was the original plan. So I guess the first thing to do is to ask Eileen or Lucy for comments.
I was just going to give the background, which you kind of did.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Back, for some of the people who weren't there, very quickly, back in the 90s, the hotel property was developed as a hotel property. As Larry was explaining, he was actually on the commission then, so he's very familiar with how it was conditioned in order to avail of and protect the breakout. They created what is actually shown on the plans as a replication area. Doug actually pointed out to us yesterday that it is actually fed by a pipe, and there's a catch basin. Oh, maybe we can show that plan. There's a catch basin within the wetland area. Anyway, we had noticed over time, Larry first spotted it, that they had vegetation cutting had occurred. It seemed like it may have been historic cutting that might have been sitting there for a while, but they did move some of that vegetation recently, and it turns out it was the R.J. Kelly people were moving it they thought it was their property and they were moving it inadvertently, so they ended up being the ones who were the violators, even though the wetland's actually on the 2 Van de Graaff property. So they're going to take care of I think what Carl was alluding to is they will take care of the violation and bring the wetland back into better order, and then it will be up to 2 Van de Graaff to take care of it from there on.
Right. I think that does get some hydrology from groundwater, water breaking out near the bottom of the hill as it rolls down and different things like that, as well as the pipe. I guess some of the commissioners were out there. Well, before we do that, Eileen, are you recommending any specific tasks, or Lucy, are you recommending any specific tasks that you're throwing out there for suggestions on what needs to be done here?
I think it really needs a tidy up of all of the older vegetation that has been lying around for a while, which is actually what they were trying to do when I came upon them a week or two ago. But I would like them to check the soils to see that they're still actually wetland soils. It is holding some water. I would just like it to be checked. I think it's reasonable. And then I think if they replant with vegetation, it could be a pretty simple fix. That would be my recommendation or my comments on it.
Okay, so is there any other comments on either what Eileen said or on what you saw for this particular area? Ed?
Is there any reason to do anything special with the drainage that's there, since we found a drain?
Well, Doug and I were talking about that on the site yesterday. Again, I think my recommendation would be that they either remove that drain, or I think Bill had the good idea that they could even more simply just raise the rim around the catch basin, so less water is going in unless it's absolutely essential that water goes in there. That's about it. Otherwise, I would leave it as is.
Yeah, if you're trying to maintain it as a wetland, to have the catch basin at the lowest point of the wetland is just draining the wetland and not
Right.
maintaining it. So if you give that lip, it'll fill up with at least 5 inches of rain before it drains, which will help
That was a good
support the
idea.
wetland.
Very good idea.
All right, Sarah?
I noticed there's lots of invasives in this patch of land. We counted sumac and bittersweet, bull thistle, I'm not sure what else, maybe even calorie pear. It looked like it's, for a wetland, it's kind of a desolate one. Maybe, I don't know, what can be done about that?
At one time, it was a very vital wetland. It had some really nice plants in it, but over time...
Something happened?
Something happened.
Does it require a lot of help to stay a
well-
nice-looking wetland, or otherwise it just
Well,
wants to
it
be
was good for a while, anyway. Rob, anything further?
No, it looks like a pretty straightforward.
All right, let's go over to Kent. Anything? Indra, anything?
No, nothing.
Bill, anything?
No, nothing else.
All right, so Carl or other folks here, who else is here? Serena and who else?
Is Serena here?
Is it Serena?
Doug.
Yep, Serena and Doug Malone.
And Doug, okay. What I'm going to summarize for you then is that a few small tasks. One is to clean up sort of the cut stuff would be the first step. Have somebody verify that wetland soils is still in shape, it's still there. It seems like there was water even in the summertime there. There was a water layer in the center there. The feasibility or your willingness to just raise the rim, what, 4 to 6 inches, somewhere around there?
Yep.
On that catch basin, so we can maintain some sufficient water in there, but not a lot. And then to propose some plantings. And part of the cleanup would be to kind of try to pull the invasives and knock that back. So I guess what I'm throwing out there is asking you folks to comment if you're willing to, I mean, it sounds like the better part of a day for a landscaping company for the actual work, but you folks amenable to this?
We are, yes.
Well, they're easy.
I think we should specify.
So my question, just moving forward, is once we take care of all this, and this land is the responsibility of our neighbor, the Hyatt, we just want to kind of make sure that they're, conducting their diligence and maintenance on this, so this doesn't, come up again. And granted, we're a neighbor, we're willing to help out with that, but we just want to make sure that, we're not sitting here in a couple of years when everything grows back after we bring it all back to its, normal condition, if you will.
Are you going to enter into I don't think it will require a lot of maintenance, but are you going to enter into some kind of agreement with them?
We're definitely willing to have that conversation, for sure, yeah.
Okay.
I know, I think Eileen, myself, and a representative from the Hyatt were on site a few days ago. So we're more than willing to reach out to them and just make sure that this is maintained properly moving forward.
Sure. So,
And the work should be done by hand, as Eileen was just pointing out, no more machines in that
Right.
area.
well, except for the clearing. The clearing, you might have to, no?
Should be done by hand, too.
Can they get those tree stumps out without?
They moved quite a lot of stuff, at least over to the edge, because I let the guy just finish what he was doing that day that I stopped the machinery. I would prefer.
So he can probably work from the edge, is what you're
Yes, I
saying?
think so.
Okay.
A lot of it's.
And Eileen, just to confirm, he was working from the edge that day, so that's okay to continue that process?
He was not working from the edge that day, he was right in it. I was right there.
Okay.
Okay,
But he-
we'll make sure that everything's from the edge.
I'm not saying he knew he was in a wetland, but he was in it.
Okay, I'll make sure that that does not happen again.
Of course, if for some reason that they do need to do something with equipment in the wetland, they can give the office a call and talk to him about what's going on, of course.
I don't really see any reason why they would
I don't know.
put equipment in there.
It's a pretty big area for,
Well, we've been dealing with an enforcement at another property just recently, and we told them they couldn't have equipment in there, so I think we need to be consistent.
oh, of course. Well, I'm just saying they should talk to you if there's a problem.
Okay.
That's all I was
fair.
saying.
Okay.
I don't see, once it's fully cleaned, here initially, once we get this into the right state, maintaining it over time, as long as it's maintained consistently, I wouldn't see a need to get any sort of large equipment in there in the future.
I agree.
There are still, I think, a few logs in it that I've seen that would be helpful to grab with a machine at this point in time. I don't think it needs to get walked, into the wetlands by any means. I think it can be done from the edge and just gingerly pick up and move out, so we're not disturbing the soils in that way.
Okay.
Would you like me to formally, because I didn't do it for tonight because we were discussing it, but it can be done very quickly. Would you like me to write up an enforcement order so that this is?
And summarize these things?
Yes. Something, summarize this basically.
Is this-
I can sign
is this-
it, you guys can sign it the next time.
Yeah, I mean, either,
Best way to go?
Well, either that, either a letter, a friendly enforcement letter, or an enforcement order. I'm not sure it makes a real difference. Does it?
Not if we're happy to work with them, that's totally fine. So we'll draft something.
Right.
That says these rather than them? Okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah, well, you'll get a letter that basically summarizes what I think we're in common agreement about. Okay?
Sounds good.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, thank you, actually. So, is there anything more that needs to be said about this one at all?
Well, we should probably just make sure it's done in a timely manner. Would you like to set a time for that to be done? Like, for it to be cleared up by one of the September meetings, maybe?
How does that sound?
I'm going to dilly-dally, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't get forgotten.
Well, you want to get,
We're on the track of let's get this thing done and get it back operational ASAP. So I think we'll be more than done by September.
Although, having said that, if they're planting in there,
you might want to give them through October.
well, that's one of.
For the growth of the
It's a wet
plantings,
area,
yeah, but
so
Depends on how much water there comes,
Depends on how much.
how wet it will stay.
right.
So, I would say the planting would be ideally done in September, but
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we say by October meeting? First meeting in October? Does that sound good? All right, so this work would be completed by the first meeting in October, knowing that probably the ideal to plant is probably sometime in September.
That's great.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
All right, so I think we're all set on this one, folks. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
have a good night, folks.
All right, have a good night. All right, so the next item is 0 Cambridge Street, parcel 35-115. Is there someone here for that one? The vegetation and surface was damaged and,
There isn't, and hang on, I'm just looking for the email from Jonathan. What was his name again? Jonathan Schuster? CRC. Sorry, I had connected with Jonathan was the main wetland scientist that we were dealing with, and I asked them if they had an update that they wanted to present to us tonight, and they didn't really, so I let them, I said I would just present this to you. He said, we're closer to implementing the restoration. I walked the site in depth last week with Ryan Clapp, CC'd, who will be directly overseeing the restoration work and talk through each of the tricky areas of channel restoration as well as areas with deeper gouging. Seeing the natural regrowth was encouraging, especially in those areas that we were not planning on needing any micro grading. So that was the only update at the moment. They haven't actually done the restoration work. So I said, that's okay, we'll just, I'll give you the update and I'll let them know if there's,
okay.
if you have a.
Is there anything more to do on this one?
No, except maybe just make sure it's happening. Again, keep on them with a timeline.
All right, okay. All right, next is, we have a continued public hearing for proposed stormwater regulations. Okay, and this one, it's been proposed that, so when we go to town meeting, we are able to go with knowing that if they pass what we are proposing, which is the important things left in the bylaw and the technical things left in the regulations, that if that's proposed, the bylaw will be stripped bare. And we want to have some regulations in place that takes the language that's in the bylaw and transfers it over to the regulations. So it is proposed to the commission that we, perhaps, it's been a while now, we simply pass the regulations. We could do it at this meeting, or we could do it in the August meeting, if people would like a little bit more time to look at it one more time. So, Bill, you have,
One sort of procedural question. This, as it exists, has already been approved by the subcommittee.
Yes.
So we are now able to just approve it as the main committee.
Yep.
If we tweak it at all, that has to be then reapproved by the subcommittee before we can do it, because
I
that's the
think
way
if
we've
it's
written
anything
it.
substantive, yes. I think if it was, oh, look, we missed that bullet or something, I don't think
Okay.
either Phyllis or Susan would mind about that. But if it was substantive, yes, I think we would.
Is it required, like, the subcommittee approves something, come back
That's-
to the main and then goes back to subcommittee?
That's what we have said, yeah. Any changes will be approved by
Oh.
the subcommittee first, and then recommended to come to this committee.
And then the committee has the authority to change it?
No.
No? Where it is
Sorry,
written
what
now?
was the, what was,
Well, if the subcommittee makes changes and brings it here,
Yeah.
he's suggesting that we could still change it again. And I say we can't,
I
because
don't
any
think
changes
so.
have to be
I think-
approved by the subcommittee.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
That's why I'm thinking if we really need to, if we're going to think of making any changes at all, we'd have to have a subcommittee meeting before the August meeting in order to then have them
Right.
approve any changes.
If,
So,
if there's anything anybody proposes.
right.
But if everybody's okay with
You
it.
could have, the full committee could make recommendations back to the subcommittee,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's the likelihood of
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely.
We would propose the changes
Yeah.
for them to verify.
But you're, basically, my past experience was like the subcommittees, you're relying on the expertise of the subcommittee for the full committee's review.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's needed to hold off any further on this. I think it's been reviewed many times. For anybody that's watching, I'll just take a couple of minutes to say that what we are stripping out of the bylaw and proposing to go in a set of regulations is things like what is in a standard stormwater application package. It's going to tell you the number of copies of drainage calculations, the number of copies of stormwater management plan, erosion sedimentation control plan, a copy, if it's required, stormwater pollution prevention plan, and one electronic copy. And then we have what a stormwater management plan could consist of, which could be information on the zoning and proposed land use and lines of abutting trees showing drainage, driveway locations, existing and proposed topography, general outline of existing vegetation, where the mature trees are, a drainage area map, and a description of the soils on the site, which are needed for infiltration, soil logs from test pits. All of these things are supposed to be in a stormwater management plan. Then there's many more things, and then we move on to an erosion and sedimentation control plan, and our bylaw goes into more technical detail, where we talk about drainage patterns and erosion and sedimentation control measures, and temporary erosion and sedimentation control measures, and the description of waste materials expected to be stored on the site. And then we have a long list of requirements for operation and maintenance plan, and it talks about showing easements, the fact that the easements shall be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, and any long-term operation and maintenance of the stormwater structures, and details of any easements on the property. And then we talk about similar items, not quite as extensive, obviously, for the abbreviated permit that we have for things that are less than 10% added impervious surface or less than 20,000 square feet of land disturbance. And we have those categories, again, talked about much less detail because it's an abbreviated permit. And then we talk about the performance standards that are also in the bylaw with all this technical detail. And it talks about that if the site is just like EPA requires us to, that if the site is greater than 1 acre, we have to require total suspended solids removal and total phosphorus removal, and structures are required to do that. There's details on that. So all of these things, aside from a bunch of other logistics, technical logistics, are actually being moved into the regulations, so that we have the ability to change these things, we would first go to a subcommittee which has representatives of the stakeholder community on it. And if these changes are recommended, then as it was said earlier, the commission would take up these items. It also has, we're also putting in there the fact that our bylaw allows for engineering and consulting review and site inspection and entry onto the property. All of those things will also appear, I believe, in the regulations as well. So we're proposing now to leave in the bylaw such things as detail objectives, and we're going to leave in there the thresholds for when someone needs a permit. Some people, mostly homeowners, only have to go for an abbreviated permit, which is a much faster and less expensive process. Some people, the larger project, commercial projects, and a very, very few homeowner projects that are basically renovating an entire lot may require a full permit. And those thresholds are listed in detail in the bylaw, and they will remain in the bylaw. Okay, so that's what we're doing. At the last town meeting in May, the Conservation Commission, Bill made a fantastic presentation, and he summarized a lot of stuff, but town meeting members expressed some uncertainty as to what was being put in the bylaw. So what we're proposing to do this time, since we only lost by one vote, we're going to thinking that if we give them more detail, unfortunately more boring detail,
What they asked for.
okay, they will be clear on what they're voting for and what is being put in the regulations. So we're going to try it again at the September town meeting and see if enough town meeting members will agree that this is worth doing for us.
Could I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
So you're actually, it's not just explaining in more boring detail what is being removed, it's also leaving some, like, high-value items in the bylaw? Am I getting
Yes.
that correct?
Things that define how the program
So-
is being applied and to whom it is being
So
applied.
those, like, control-type issues that seem to, like, irritate people in town meeting are now going to be addressed? It seemed to be their
It was
concern that we might do something shady out of public view. That seemed to be the vibe I was getting in town meeting.
Well,
I think they didn't understand completely what was going to be in the regulations.
Okay, so now it's saying that,
So
like,
now we've got an
it
outline of
is still hard
exactly
to
what's in
change
it.
the things that are in the bylaw because you're
Correct.
leaving more in the bylaw, is that
we're
correct?
not, well, we're not leaving more, we're actually repeating we're trying to be more clear to town meeting members.
Yeah.
We're going to say, here is what remains in the bylaw. Here are all the technical stuff we're proposing to put in regulations, just like every other community in the Commonwealth does, is what we're proposing. Okay, so, and there's a few things. First of all, we have always had, and I would say this at town meeting, we have always had the practice for the last 33 years that we do outreach to the Chamber of Commerce and major commercial property owners. And we say, hey, we're proposing a change in the bylaw. Please review this and tell us what you think. And we're very careful about taking those comments into consideration. We've always done that. But what we're proposing is, after 33 years, maybe it's time to just formalize it and set up. It doesn't mean we won't reach out to some of these same people that may not sit on this subcommittee, but we're also going to have a formal thing where we're saying they have to review it on behalf of the commercial interests in town, as well as 3 commission members would be on it. And if they think this is worthwhile passing, then they will recommend it to conservation, and we can debate it for a change to our regulation. Furthermore, the hierarchy of documents is that there is a bylaw. The bylaw even now authorizes the creation of regulations. It's always been there. We haven't done it, but it authorizes it. However, you said something about the possibility that down the road, when the reasonable people like Bill Boyven is gone, that's what you mean?
Yes,
And that the commission
it's gone rogue.
gone rogue, like Rob and Ed and Kent go rogue and decide that they're going to do something nefarious. The point I'm trying, aside from making a joke, the point I'm trying to make is the hierarchy of documents is the bylaw controls. In other words, we could not apply this to other people, or to other circumstances, because the bylaw specifies who, under what circumstances, somebody gets a stormwater permit to protect neighboring property and runoff into the street. And we could not make that threshold more specific in the regulations, and we could make it more specific, but we could not make it more strict.
That's one of those items that we originally had in the regulations, but the stakeholder community said, we don't want you to have that kind of authority to change the thresholds. We want that in the bylaw. So town meeting makes those changes.
Right.
So there were several items that we moved back into the bylaws because of the input from the stakeholders.
In the original putting this together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing's actually changed from the version that we presented in May.
We're trying to make an effort to be more clear.
Just a better explanation.
Yes.
Well,
The end game is basically to streamline it, to make it more efficient process.
Yep.
But at the same time, the big ticket items that key stakeholders are going to have to focus on and understand is the game here. And to your point, that every other town or like that's the way they've done it.
Right.
We're like one of the last to kind of.
We already have that as a precedent in our own. We got
Yeah.
them in the wetland permits, we have a bylaw, and the Board of Health has a very simple bylaw and a whole bunch of regulations, so it already exists in our town. We're not creating any new ideas here. And all we need to
Another
do is
town.
convince one more person.
And other towns have the same thing, to Larry's point.
Yes,
Yeah,
and most of the surrounding
Yep.
communities do, right?
Right, right. Okay, so what we have is a set of regulations that has been reviewed multiple times. It's been on our website for a very long time, and I think we're suggesting that the commission, we close the hearing and propose to adopt these regulations. Essentially, it will, for the time being, it will be a repeat of exactly what's in our bylaw. That's the intent. And if there is any conflict, if we do find a conflict, then the bylaw prevails. Okay? So, I mean, there's no discussion about it, so. So would anybody like to talk any further? I did a lot of explanations there.
If the bylaw and the regulations are, like, we're sort of be like duplicate, right? Is this what we're proposing?
The technical detail will be in both places now.
So if we were going to issue a waiver, would we issue a waiver for both?
The technical detail in the bylaw,
As it currently stands?
until town meeting changes it.
Oh, until it's changed.
Yeah, so,
Will exist in the regulations as well. There'll be a duplicate.
Okay.
somewhat.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no,
In that,
Bylaws.
I see what you're
If
saying.
town meeting voted no again, we now have regulations and a complete
It's
bylaw.
just very,
And if there was any conflict, then the bylaw would rule.
But,
Yes.
so in that instance for a waiver, would we need to waive both or just the bylaw?
The bylaw is the regulation,
We can waive it under the bylaw because the regulations, I think, are subservient.
Oh, Okay,
yeah.
so we just
To the
waive
bylaw.
one waiver.
It's a good question.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone else?
It was
Over here.
Would you say it was? Did you say one vote?
We lost by one vote.
Okay, that's what I thought I read. Maybe when the original one.
So you only need to convince one more person.
And what was the complete? It was the control. Is that what the main one? The issue was? Really?
I don't know.
Seems
Misunderstanding.
salty about
They didn't understand how much was actually in the regulations, and they were
That was
afraid
it?
we'd have too much, change things they don't want to change.
Unfortunately, in order to explain it, I'll have to quickly go over here's what we're keeping in the bylaw, and here's what we're putting in the regulations, for them to totally understand it.
Fields of the
And
was the vibe I was getting.
won't be the most exciting presentation, but hopefully they'll
We need to check.
give me the license to do it.
Conservation Commission.
One vote? Oh, God.
All right, so
We didn't slow anything down.
Eileen, do you have anything further to say?
That's not be asked.
No, I don't.
Then could I have a motion to close the hearing on adopting a set of regulations for Burlington bylaw, under Burlington bylaw, Article 14, Section 6. We are adopting the Burlington Stormwater Bylaw regulations. Is there, the latest draft, is there a motion to close the hearing, I think? Was the first. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor? But that's a 7-0-0 vote. Could I have a motion now to adopt the regulations under Burlington bylaw, Article 14, Section 6, for a set of regulations, the latest draft entitled Burlington Stormwater Bylaw Regulations?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0-0. That was unanimous. Okay.
Now, I have a question about the warrant article. It's already gone in,
Yeah.
but the backup material, which has also gone in, that can still be modified a little bit, right? There's still time to change the backup material?
I haven't submitted that. I'm submitting it tomorrow based on this.
Okay. One of the reasons I'm bringing
It
that
gave
up,
us a little distance.
there's two reasons I'm bringing that up. The first is, in the last round, the last town meeting,
Yeah.
we had an introductory
Yeah.
little explanation. Is that something like that going in this time as well?
It can. I put it in the folder, so you
Yeah.
want the little intro, and then your more substantive explanation. And did we agree or not that the regulations will not separately go in as backup? Because that's an awful
No,
lot
no,
of
the
pages.
regulations.
No, the regulations will go in. What we said is the,
The previous unmodified bylaw is not going in.
yeah, the unmodified
Oh, is that it?
bylaws
Yes.
is what we said, won't go in, right?
There'll be three pieces. This introduction as to why we're doing it, the specifics of what is going in, just long-term, just long-form description, and the actual proposed, the actual regulations that have now been approved to support the proposed bylaw.
Could you send me that?
Yeah, I just printed it off
Thanks.
the website.
Okay.
That was the original memo from. And then the other question I have is just to make sure the regulations that we're submitting in Article 7 in there say the fee table is attached in Appendix A of these regulations. Is Appendix A being attached as well as part of the backup material? Because if it isn't, person in the back of the audience there will raise the question. And I was mistaken before calling it Attachment A, which is why you couldn't find it. It's Appendix A. We were searching for
I
the word
just had
attachment,
forgotten that
yeah.
it was a thing, because I know exactly what the fees are, but
Yeah.
just that it was an attachment, or appendix.
Appendix.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So I guess we can move on.
It's an awful lot.
Planning board comments on anything?
Oh, sorry, no.
All right. Subcommittee and staff reports. Do we want, Eileen, do you want to talk about that proposal you're working on at all?
Oh, well, we could briefly. So a few staff members in town, plus Bill and Larry and Sarah, sorry, I was just trying to remember exactly who was there, and John Keeley, and various staff people, as I said, have met a few times to discuss trees and the possibility of tree bylaws or a tree fund bylaw. So another thing that has come out of that is that we're applying for a grant. It's called the Cooling Corridors Grant for some tree planting in town. And to go along with that, we would have a lot of education. That's due in tomorrow, so I'm hoping to get that in tomorrow afternoon. We've had to reduce the number of trees that we're proposing because it turns out to be shockingly expensive to add in all the watering that we would need to do, because that'd have to be contracted. But still, I think it's a nice idea and a nice pilot program, should we get this off the ground, should we get grant funding for it. And then it requires a planting program in areas that are known hotspots in town, so meaning lots of impervious, and that are known environmental justice communities.
So isn't the intent of this grant to have trees planted in private home areas, in front of private home areas, so that these are areas that are known hotspots, devoid of vegetation, and that they can walk in more comfort, generally speaking, with shaded trees, to areas where they might be shopping or procuring services? Is that the idea?
Bus stops.
That's
Bus
the
stops.
idea.
Big one, yeah.
Bus stops and just other areas that are important. We've highlighted, we've identified 2 areas, one of which is Cambridge Centre, not Cambridge Centre, Cambridge Street, the town centre, and that's also got the food pantry in it and the urgent care. So it's got a lot of really sort of important features that people do need to get to and from, and bus stops as well, as we said.
The other areas down on the south end of Wynn Street?
Right, so exactly. Wynn Street, in that Windmere area between close to 95 and Mountain Road Junction, that's another hotspot, and also an EJ community.
How much would the grant be for if we got
The
it?
total that you're allowed to apply for is 100,000. So it'll be up something
How much?
close to that.
100,000.
100,000?
Yeah, could get a fair amount of trees for that.
Not as many as you might think.
Because of watering.
But that only covers
Yeah,
the
the
trees,
maintenance
right,
of
not
it.
the,
That is going, in our case, it's
installation,
going to cover the purchase of the trees and the planting of the trees and watering for 2 years. You have to include watering. So, yeah, they really want to make sure that if they're giving you money, these trees are going to succeed,
Right.
which makes a lot of sense. I mean, they've got to
Right.
make their money work.
Is this an annual appropriation?
You mean an annual grant?
Yes.
I think it's only the second or maybe third year that it's been available. So I think it's the second.
Okay.
I love the 2 maps that you distributed. One is showing all the hot heat islands in town, and the other was all the environmental justice communities. If the other members of the board haven't seen them all, I would appreciate it if you could send it to them. I found them fascinating.
I could show you those right now if you
Yeah.
wanted. Well, how about I just,
I didn't realize we had actual documentation of the specific heat islands in town. But when you look at it and realize where they are, it makes a lot of sense. The mall and, like you said,
Okay.
Center Street area.
but there's specific requirements of the grant, because if the trees are the most expensive cost, you can't say, I want more trees than the town can cover the watering or you have to, it's all tied into the same.
hang on. I can't do 2 things at once. Let me just pull up the
I think
hotspot
it's
map.
required by the-
Okay.
Then I'll
So,
answer.
Like she said, they want to guarantee that their investment
Yeah.
is going to be maintained.
They are actually very, very willing for us to give something in kind to contribute to it as well.
Yeah.
We don't happen to really have staffing that can do that right now. So that's why a fair bit of our money, really all of the money would be going towards the planting and the watering.
Yeah.
But some towns that have more established tree programs are able to take care of the watering themselves. So this that I'm sharing is the EJ community map. These are the 2 areas that we've identified that we're highlighted that we're going to actually apply for. And where's the hotspot one?
Can you
Well-
explain what the environmental justice community is by definition?
Well, the ones we have here, I have the figure 1, it says it down here. I've got to tweak this a little bit. That's where the block group minority population is more than 40%, or the block group minority population is greater than and equal to 25%, and the median household income of the municipality the block group is in makes less than 150% of the mass median household income. So
Is this a particular minority sector? Is this like mostly Indians, or is it combined?
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Any minority counts in the town.
Any minority counts, it's the total minority count.
Right.
Just wondering.
Well, it probably, we do have a pretty large Asian
What?
population.
Majority are Indians.
In certain areas, yeah.
It probably,
We kinda thought so.
We have a substantial Asian population in Southeast.
Which is absolutely fine.
So these are the hotspots then in town.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So this one here is that, what I was inadvertently, oh, sorry, you can't see my cursor very well. Oh, you can. That's the town center in around Shaw's, from say Shaw's up to CVS, up
Yep.
around there. That's what we're talking about. And then we're seeing the other one down there has a smaller hotspot, but it's still a hotspot right there. You know where there's a whole strip of cafes and restaurants and laundromats and so on down there on Wynn Street?
And nail salons.
Sammy's and the
Sammy's.
Down near the funeral home?
funeral home.
Yeah, yeah.
With the trees.
Yeah,
So-
there's no trees in there, you're right.
But the rest of what you're seeing, all that purple down a little bit south of the, yeah, all that Lucy's showing you there, that's all largely the commercial hotspots. That's the mall, that's the Nordblum buildings, that's Leahy. So for the purposes of this grant, we're really concentrating largely on the residential areas.
Does that include replacement? Grant,
Replacement
something's
of
a
trees.
damaged tree.
Do you mean if something is put in, that's kind of between us and the contractor?
That's what
Usually there'd be
reason I
a
asked
warranty of some sort.
My daughter lives in Arlington on Hillside, and a truck hit the upper part of the tree and broke branches. They ripped the tree out, fountained it,
Yep.
and put a new tree there.
Right. Well, I've actually been copying Arlington's example quite a bit because they won this award last year. So they won money to do quite a lot of planting, and they purchased an electric watering truck, which is kind of nice. But they already have an established tree program there. So they have a tree warden who's, like, when I say just a tree warden, I don't mean that he's, you know.
He's not just only a tree
You
warden.
know, but he's a full-time tree warden, whereas, you know, we have a tree warden, but he also wears a whole lot of other hats too. So this tree warden functions to plant trees and take care of trees and deal with
It's
only trees
amazing
around town.
what's happening there. I
And
mean,
they
that tree
have-
is beautiful after a year. It's really just flourishing.
I think we're fortunate to have a DPW superintendent who is interested in trees. He is our
Yes.
tree warden, but he also has an interest in public shade trees and implementing the state law for public shade trees.
And he is availed of himself of a lot of education.
Right.
In the time that, you know, since he became.
Right, so I think
career director.
it's very nice that we have
He
him.
has an interest in actually being a tree warden, which is refreshing.
There you go, yes. All right, enough of that. Next, we have other business. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, the next meeting is one meeting in August, that's August 14. So if you can't make it, you got to let us know, obviously. The next meeting after that will be actually September 11th, and summer will be over by then. Okay. Is there anything further? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Concom.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? 700. Good evening.